One god split mountains with a single bolt of white fire. The other tore out his own eye just to see the truth hidden beneath the world. Both were called king. Only one of them was ever afraid of losing everything. Above the clouds of ancient Greece, thunder still rolls through a throne room of gold and marble, the seat of Zeus, ruler of Olympus, master of lightning, father of gods and men. Far to the north, in a hall built from spears and shields, an old man with one eye and two ravens on his shoulders watches every corner of 9 frozen worlds. This is Odin, the All-Father, king of Asgard, keeper of the runes. 2 kings, 2 thrones, 2 completely different ideas of what it means to rule. Tonight, we place them side by side, not as legend, but as fact against fact, across 6 categories that decide everything. And the final verdict is not the one you expect. If a throne is already calling to you, don't sit in silence. Subscribe now, and let the bell ring like thunder before we begin. Start with raw power. Zeus was born into a world ruled by monsters. His own father, Cronus, swallowed his children whole, terrified of a prophecy that one of them would destroy him. Zeus survived only because his mother hid him in a cave on Crete and fed his father a stone wrapped in cloth instead. When Zeus finally rose to strike back, the Cyclopes forged 3 gifts in fire beneath the world. Poseidon received a trident, Hades received a helm of shadow, and Zeus received the thunderbolt, not a weapon, but a verdict. One strike could level a mountain, blind a titan, silence a god mid-sentence. Beside it, he carried the Aegis, a shield said to summon storms and scream like 10,000 dragons when shaken, and in his other hand, a scepter, because for Zeus, power was never only violence. It was law, given a body. Odin's power took a stranger shape. He carried Gungnir, a spear that never once missed its mark, and rode into battle on Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse born from chaos itself. But Odin's true power was older and colder than any weapon in either world. It was the choice to become weaker, on purpose, for something greater. Remember that line. It matters more than you think. Because here is where the 2 kings split apart: completely intelligence and the price of knowing. Zeus was cunning enough to overthrow his own father, but his mind was never unbeatable. The Titan Prometheus once tricked him at a feast, hiding the best meat under bone and offering Zeus the worst portion disguised as the finer one. Zeus chose wrong in front of every god watching and never forgave it. One darker telling claims his own wife, his own daughter, and his own brother once bound him in chains while he slept, and only a monster with 100 arms saved his throne. Odin was never tricked like that, not once, because Odin paid for his wisdom in advance, in blood. At the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, lay the Well of Mimir, a well that could show a mind everything hidden in the universe for a price. Odin didn't hesitate. He tore out his own right eye and let it sink into the water, forever. That was not even his greatest sacrifice. To learn the secret language of the rune symbols powerful enough to bend fate itself, Odin hung himself from Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights, pierced by his own spear, given no food, no water, and no mercy from anyone, because he forbade it. On the 9th night, screaming, he seized the runes from the darkness below him and fell back into the world reborn. One king lost a game at dinner. The other lost an eye, and nearly his life, and never once complained. If a sacrifice like that unsettles you, say so in the comments. Tell us the one price you could never pay. Now, their armies. Zeus ruled through the 12 Olympians, Athena, Poseidon, Apollo, Ares, and the rest gods bound to him by blood, marriage, and fear. Elite, immortal, loyal mostly. Odin commanded something almost impossible to picture. Warriors who died bravely were carried by Valkyries into Valhalla, a hall with 540 doors, each one wide enough for 800 warriors to march through, shoulder to shoulder. Multiply that out, and the number comes to 432,000 souls. An army built one death at a time, for a war that had not yet come. 12 gods against 432,000 dead men who no longer feared dying. Their greatest victories tell you everything about how each king actually thinks. Zeus's finest hour was the Titanomachy, 10 brutal years of war against Cronus and the old gods. He freed ancient monsters from the deepest pit in existence to fight beside him, hurled his thunderbolt until the sky itself seemed to catch fire, and buried the Titans in a darkness with no bottom. He didn't just win a war, he rewrote reality and crowned himself its king. Odin's finest hour came before he ruled anything at all. With his brothers, he killed the primordial giant Ymir and built the entire universe out of the body. Mountains rose from bone, oceans ran from blood, and somewhere above your head, right now, the sky is still made from a dead giant's skull. Zeus destroyed an old world to rule it. Odin built a new one out of a corpse, just to have somewhere to stand. If you had to kneel before one of these thrones tonight, strike that like button like Zeus strikes the sky. But even kings bleed. Zeus's weakness was never a weapon, it was his own pride. His endless affairs shattered his marriage, humiliated his queen, and scattered heartbreak and enemies across every corner of the earth. Ego doesn't kill a god outright. It just guarantees he's never truly safe, even on his own throne. Odin's weakness is worse, because he chose it with open eyes. That same wisdom he starved and bled for showed him his own death, in exact detail. He knows the wolf Fenrir will one day break every chain ever forged, and swallow him whole at the end of the world. He knows precisely how his story ends, and every single day, he rules anyway. Which is the greater curse, to be blind to your downfall, or to watch it walk toward you for eternity? That question is really about philosophy, the deepest category of all. Zeus stands for order, for power made visible, worn like a crown, enforced by lightning. He is civilization itself, magnificent, commanding, impossible to ignore. Odin stands for something quieter and far more dangerous, the relentless, bottomless pursuit of truth, no matter the cost, no matter who bleeds to find it. So who actually wins? In a single moment, one clean strike, sky against sky, Zeus wins. His thunderbolt moves faster than thought. There may be no force in any mythology built to survive it head-on. But war is rarely one moment. Across a long war, the kind measured in centuries, not seconds, Odin wins. Because Odin already knows exactly how it ends, and he still shows up anyway. He built an army for a battle he loses. That is not strength. That is something close to unbearable. Zeus is the most powerful god that has ever existed in an instant. Odin is the most powerful god that has ever existed across all of time. So maybe there was never one true king, because there was never only one kind of power. Some of us are lightning fast, brilliant, impossible to look away from, gone before we even understand what we saw. And some of us are the one-eyed man in the dark, who already knows exactly how the story ends, and walks toward it anyway. Tell us below which throne you kneel to, Zeus or Odin. Because somewhere above you, right now, the sky is listening for your answer.